Hey everyone, welcome once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated, backyard superstar Tim Vicious, and, well, do another Tuesday edition for you because getting weird schedules going on with work, trying to set up everything between this, work, life in general. Like I said in episode 1, I don't know which one. I don't know if I can't make them, I put it out there. If I can, then you get it. That's on how it goes. Anyways, on with this week. Talking about on how Raw went down. They started out with having Hunter come out again with Orton, talking about the beatdown Bryan got over the course of last week. It's starting to feel like a little cliche. I mean, why not have it to where you have why not have Bryan get the upper hand at least one night? I mean, that way you can have Hunter come out, have a legit reason to be on the opening segment, and then punish him by putting him in a match. Anyways, they came out, did the usual spiel. Randy was doing the yes and no questionnaire like Bryan does with the crowd. And then Bryan came on out. Honestly, and like I said last week, feeling like on how this was with Mankind and The Rock back in like 99, 2000-ish. 99, 2000-ish, it was with that feud, and yeah, that one was good, but that also had a lot of different ground because Mick I can't really say it had a lot of different ground. The only thing that was different was the faces, but still pretty good. Anyways, next thing you know, they do that spiel, the hype up for the promo, They come back, they go to commercial, they come back, Orton and Tripp are skipping around in the back holding hands, la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, they see Cody. Cody winds up saying, hope nobody interferes in the match. Why would they? Just saying. Next thing you know, Hunter goes and says, for business, you're going to have a match against Randy tonight, and if you lose, you're fired. Okay, that was my best fence. Deal with me, people. I've been awake for 13 hours straight and running on 5 hours of sleep, so not doing my best impressions today. Anyways, Cody Rhodes has got booked for a match against against Randy later the night, and told if he doesn't win, he's fired. So it's an all or nothing sort of match. And moving on, they had Fandango versus Miz. Now you can tell I'm really tired because I'm not making any Fandango jokes. Honestly, is anyone else sick of seeing the Miz and Fandango matches? Other than me? It's just a fucking waste. Neither of the guys really have that wow factor to draw in crowds, and I can't see the point in having them on there. It drives me up a fucking wall every time I see them on. I throw the jokes out there all the time about the guys, but seriously, and Miz's babyface character is just god awful. He'd be better if they had him playing as like that snide, cocky jock, captain of the football team sort of babyface. You know, captain of the football team jerk babyface, as opposed to like on how just naturally being good and only going up against heels. It fucking sucks. Anyways, next thing you know, they had Ziggler come out. They say they got him doing a mystery match. And before the match even starts, Ambrose came out and laid a beating on him. And Right as Ambrose is done, Ryback's music hits, and, well, I thought it was kind of funny when Ryback came out because, here, I'll show you right here using my fingers. Ryback came out walking literally like this. It looked like he was either mentally retarded or he was hiding a giant piece of shit in his singlet. And the fact that he has black and white tights now, it just adds on to the Goldberg-esque formula that he already has. Why don't he just change his finisher to a jackhammer? Anyways, my preview on that is they're going to wind up putting Ziggy up against Ambrose possibly for a US. Yeah, the way that's looking, that's my prediction though. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I see a follow-up match coming up between them two because of that fight, and it leading into a title match. Obviously, Ryback won the match with Ziggler. Ziggler had a lot of good high shots in, especially when he hit the drop kick right as Ryback was going for the clothesline. That was actually very good timing, very good shot. Anyways, next match they had Primetime Players versus 3MB. The only really good spot on that, the only actual real surprise in that was the fact that 3MB didn't get a jobber entrance. Moving on, they finally had that Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton match. That one I was actually surprised on the whole time because I really, and well, everyone sees Cody as the next main event guy. And I hope my hand actually shows on there when I'm doing this because I really forget on how high up the camera shows, but saying that high up like, you know, one of the top tier guys. But I definitely see Cody in that bracket. He should be given that kind of push. It's a shame that he isn't. Anyways, it was a good match. Cody and Randy, aside from Legacy, they do go back. They had their fair share of matches, you know, after Legacy split and all. Obviously, yeah. I was impressed with. I'm just surprised seeing Cody doing springboards, doing a springboard off the top rope. Best of my memory, aside from his matches with Sandow, I don't ever remember seeing him do it. I was also really impressed with the way he wound up reversing, going from an RKO into getting into hitting a crossroads. Obviously, though, in the end, Randy wound up sneaking out of nowhere, hitting an RKO, and Cody wound up losing. And following that, Cody wound up cutting a promo with everyone's favorite interviewer who survived an abortion, Josh Matthews. And Cody pretty much hit the nail on the head. Whether it was scripted or not, it pretty much felt like it really did hit the nail on the head, especially with me. Saying that the McMahons always had a thing against the Rhodes. What they did with Dusty, with the polka dot thing, dancing around, yeah, Dusty made that and made it sell really good, but the fact is you made him do it. I mean, Dusty was a great wrestler to begin with. And then they gave Dustin, then they gave Goldie, well, obviously, the Goldust gimmick. And now Cody, he got booted. My guess is it's just scripted. He'll probably come back like Survivor Series or sometime later, and they'll just say that Vicky bought him or something because she was thinking what was best for business, as Hunter likes to keep on saying, because anything is pretty much best for business anymore, including the fact that I forgot to tip Stephanie last night, but that's neither here nor there. And don't tell him I said that, because I don't want him to put me in a gauntlet match against the Shield. Right, so, moving along, they had a triple threat #1 contender match for the women's title, which was absolutely bullshit because It was horrible. It was like seeing a women's match from like 2010 all over again. You know, Italia took a kick to the ribs and was down on the corner nursing it for like 2 minutes, and it was, ugh. And everything was just god awful on that. The only good thing was AJ was out there for a bit, shooting on that, talking on how they're all pretty much just high-end replaceable Barbie dolls that couldn't do acting, that couldn't get into acting, so they went to reality TV. And she said that wrestling was her first love, theirs was acting, and then Cole tried arguing, saying, well, what about Natalya? She grew up in it. So what? You know how many people grew up in wrestling but never went into it? Plenty. That's just completely absurd trying to say that just because of your family lineage, you know? I mean, hell, Lord knows on how many Von Erichs aren't in the wrestling business, even though the Von Erich family is famous for it. You know, that was probably one of the stupider things I heard Cole say in a long while, which is saying something considering that the conversations Cole and Lawler have on commentary make a retarded monkey with Down syndrome seem like Einstein. Next match they had was Sandow versus Van Dam. I'm just really surprised on how... I just can't get used to seeing Ricardo come out with a t-shirt. And that's the big thing that I can't get used to. But next thing you know, they talk about his match with Van Dam and Del Rio at Night of Champions. And partway through the match, Del Rio comes out. Now, my big thing, and that's been driving me up a wall for a while, I just can't do an entire rant off of one little thing, though. What happened to a good old-fashioned rundown where instead of just standing at the apron, standing there and looking at your opponent at whatever time, like, why not just actually come down there to intimidate them? And even yet, why have the music play to show that you're going to come down? Why not just walk right on down to confuse them? It would make more sense. Yep. Even with that happening, Van Dam got the win. And that's an obvious tell that Van Dam's scoring up win after win after win. So he's obviously not going to win the match at Night of Champions. And it's either going to be a clean finish, a dirty finish, or Ricardo's going to screw him over. And now, they wound up putting Daniel Bryan and Big Show in a match. And before that, Stephanie wound up coming out to the ring, called out Big Show, and said to him that he needs to do what's best for business, and was talking about on how different investments that he made wound up going belly up and this, that, and the other, and saying, you got to think about your longevity, Show. Giants don't live very long. Well, you know why? Because they don't get the brain surgery that he got back when he first started in WCW. Duh. You know, it pays to actually know this kind of stuff. And even more so, it pays to actually try not to think that your fans aren't stupid enough to not know this. You know, and even if Show wound up quitting that, and she was saying, there's not much of a demand for a 7-foot, 500-pound gas station attendant. You know what there is a demand for? A 7-foot, 500-pound bouncer over at the strip club down the block. Because I guarantee, if he went to any place to go and work as a bouncer, they'd buy him up in a heartbeat because of his size and build. You know, granted, yeah, Show got a little rounder over the years compared to when he was giant in WCW, but he still got muscle and he still can put on a mean face. So, Anyways, the whole time show's like, I don't want it. And then they try saying, Paul, you need to think your ironclad contract can be revoked. No, it can't. The only way the contract can be revoked is if he nulls it, is if he breaks a breach in it. And he said a while back when Vince was on feuding with Laurinaitis, that he can do what he wants, when he wants, and fight who he wants. Now, at any point in time, is there any of those three things that go against what Tripp and Steph were trying to do? Go ahead, take your time, I'll let you think on that. All done? Yeah, well, yeah, what a surprise. They try and talk about the ironclad contract, but then turning in that they're just making the ironclad contract sound like a regular old contract, which is fucking stupid. You know? Anyways, during that match, the whole time started out shows like, I don't want to do this, don't make me do this, while Bryan's going and throwing shots at him left and right until he finally knocks Show down, and then Show picks him up and starts wailing on him like it's going out of style. And once Show gets the line up to go throw the punch, he's like, and then goes to walk away. Next thing you know, Hunter's like, no, you go back, and has the Shield go and beat him up. And you know, the way we're seeing it go, it looks like, as far as what Night of Champions goes, Bryan's going to win, but it's going to probably be by a DQ, or the decision's going to get reversed. And honestly, with the way they're having Show be this, I don't want to do this, being the, I don't want to be that guy that's your muscle for hire babyface, is just, it doesn't feel right for him, especially with the acting that he's doing with it, the kind. I mean, really? Instead of showing that face, why not just you know, make yourself look a little teary-eyed? Easy enough way to do this. Just think of it, well, I'd rather not say, because then people are going to either ban, block, or not want to, or really start to get teary-eyed when I say it. Maybe I should put that in a note sometime. Anyways, instead of doing that, just make yourself look a little teary-eyed. Make yourself have that look like your parents always had when they would do the, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you look. I mean, that would make a lot more sense to me with that. Anyways, it was a good show all in all. Really like the way they're going, especially on how they're having Hunter now pretty much take over as the dominant heel boss. And Triple H, he could play a good heel. That's a given. But I didn't expect him to be able to play a good boss heel. And the fact that he's doing it, it's selling it for me, you know? And I see nothing but good coming out of this story. I hope the story can last for a little bit, at least leading into, I hope that it lasts at least until TLC, maybe, you know, that, if not a little longer, but, you know, that's me, though. I would like to see it go like that. Anyways, that's all the time got for this one, so, like on normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes, leave any questions, concerns, complaints, comments, grunts, groans, right on down below. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Look for my backup in case Twitter decides to be a douchebag and put me in Twitter jail again. Tim_Vicious. Don't forget to follow all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. KCat26, my brother from another mother. James Steele, JX2001. That Roxy Girl _ it's V Bitch. James, Roxy, and Vicky all got their own YouTube shows. Make sure y'all check them out. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morris, Helen Robinson 82, Jerry Soriano, Meow _Cakes, Team Custom Made, Cranky Asshole, Stacy Impact W Fan, Legion Lady Aaron, Legion of Nerds. Also, don't forget to check out legionofnerds.com. And, yep, you love me great. You hate me. Fuck you.